Well, hi everyone. Hello, hello. Thanks for being here. Well, congratulations to you if you made it to the No Kings March. It looks like something like 7 million Americans took to the streets. Oy vavoy vavoy. I'm going to go ahead and do the empath prayer, and then we will go ahead and take a look at some of the cards. If you haven't had a chance to like, share, subscribe, I would totally love it. All right. The first thing is I just want to take a look at Donald Trump and I want to see how he's doing. I have a feeling when I put myself in the shoes of Trump that he's not doing too good, that these protests are starting to take their toll on Mr. Trump. Okay, I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively, we say Amen. I just want to take a look and see what life is like for Donald Trump right now. What is going on in that man's head? You know, he came back from a huge win in the Middle East, right? He got all those countries to sign that they wanted peace. So that was a huge thing. Now he's dealing with the Ukraine war, right? Trying to get a deal going there. He's facing war in Venezuela. Guess it's a drug war, is that correct? So, tariffs, fighting with China, which is bringing the opium in, right? The precursor drugs are being made in China, right? And being shipped to Mexico, Venezuela, etc. So that's the problem. The problem is that, a lot of this goes back to almost like an opium war with China. He wants to win. He feels that he will be victorious, that Trump feels that his policies will take effect, that he'll do well with his policies. He sees fighting in the streets. Trump sees fighting in the streets. There's Trump in the middle of the fight. This is something we know about angry people, right? This is something that we know about angry people, right? Is that angry people are often in the middle of the fight. The truth, Archangel Michael is above him. He has a lot of ideas about things he wants to do. He's very stubborn. Many of the people that followed him, I see them going away. If the attention is not with Trump, if the people are not with Trump, then he will slowly begin to lose his constituents because of the economy, poverty, abandonment, locked out of the church. A new beginning arises for him. His opposition gets its wish. Hopes and fears to be stabbed in the back. Final outcome is evidence. He's going to have a real hard time covering up evidence against him, including the Epstein, what's happening with the Epstein evidence. He's keeping secrets, family secrets. He's inherited some things. I feel if anything takes him out, it's going to be the Epstein scandal. We've talked about him inheriting potentially dementia. We've talked about the fact that Donald Trump seems to have some mental health and cognitive skills. I feel like he just wants to push through with his agenda, but to be honest with you, he's losing the people. Donald Trump is losing the people. That is what I see in his card chart. This guy, He doesn't have a fan base anymore. Five of Pentacles is abandonment. It's exile. It's exile from the church. A desperate need to defend his position. Pounding away, pushing his agenda, defending himself. You know, we now see the powers that be have stripped Prince Andrew of all of his titles. So anyone that was associated with Epstein, unfortunately, is going to get taken out. There is Trump feeling like he's in jail, feeling cornered. The law is right over him. He sits in a state of confusion, lunacy. His mental health is questionable. He's thinking about hanging things up, mental illness, lunacy, fear of being imprisoned, the courts, a desire to hang things up, his health, Archangel Raphael moving into fifth position. And there it is again, abandoned by his constituents, excuse me. His clarification is his judgment. Could be that he's beginning to have issues with his judgment. His enemy attempts to take the weapons of war away, the hopes and fears, serious self-examination, and everything is crashing down, and a lot of it has to do with the economy. So the economy is the other thing that I think we have to be looking at, that the economy, that tower, that crash, everything crashes down, and I just see no confidence for Trump. I just don't think people have any confidence in this president anymore. See heartbreak. There's the presidency. The economy could right itself in the next couple of months, but Trump's health continues to deteriorate based on these cards. And the other thing I predict is that he no longer has a base, and I think the Epstein documents are going to be the final thing that takes him out. That and his health. No confidence. I wanted to take a look quickly at the economy. People were worried about inflation in the economy. I wanted to go ahead and take a quick look at that and see what the economy and inflation is going to be doing over the next couple of months. Who knows? Maybe by some miracle we'll be able to see it improve. And we have a Two of Swords. The government shutdown is having a huge impact on the economy, and we have this real stubbornness moving in as well with a base of a Two of Swords, which can be a refusal to move or change, issues with partnerships, inheritance. And we have tied in knots. A lot of problems with our economy right now, and a lot of problems with our taxation too. A lot of stuff in the taxation, it's all going to be automated so that when your tax returns come in, the computers will be able to file it with a computer, and the computer will be able to locate discrepancies. Everything will be done through artificial intelligence, and for that reason, they'll require less and less people to work at the IRS because of the ability of the artificial intelligence to be able to find out if you're lying on your taxes. So I see it just, it goes in, they check all your bank statements, check everything. Everything goes through the computers, all your transactions. And so artificial intelligence will replace many CPAs. And CPAs can use artificial intelligence, but you have a mess here, but eventually everything is going to become digitalized. I think the economy bounces back sometime, in the coming months. There's this feeling I get over J.D. Vance and over the nation that comes around spring, summer of 2026. It's like this revulsion and this disgust as if we're all kind of secretly disgusted with ourselves that our country has gotten to this point. I see exposés happening in this country, and I also see us having to forgive ourselves for having gotten sucked into this. You know, the high priestess is all about exposing the truth. And then we have the wheel of fortune moving in, that fighting there over the country. But I do feel like this is going to reach some kind of head, everything that's happening. The truth is going to come out. Justice will reign. And we, the people, will have to take a hard look at what we co-created. And we will have to fix this mess together. It'll have to be bipartisan. And we're going to have to do some serious soul searching about how we got to this point and how our nation became so divided. I want to look at the government shutdown really, really quickly. But that's really interesting. Yeah, so the government shutdown on as one of the longest. I know the longest so far has been 31 days. And they're blaming the Senate for this. The Republicans are. Let's take a look. Really scary when the people that we've elected to be in positions of power and protect us have brought us to this place. Their job is to protect and run the country, and our government has failed to protect us. It's declared war on us, and now it's declared war on itself. Think about that. So here we have the base of the matter, and it is war. Rumors of war. So we have some civil unrest happening in Congress, and you can see Congress is at rest karmically. But it's kind of also like a time. By the way, are they getting paid? Because if nobody else is getting paid, but a paid vacation for the House, right? You have this fighting, and then you have that rest period, Four of Swords as the karma card for the House. There it is, Seven of Wands. Everybody's on the bully pulpit, standing on the soapbox. I am right. So you have also this energy of I'm better than you are. I'm more right than you are. And the power trip, the magician moving in. So there's a lot. It's a bunch of people fighting for power. What is above, the truth is coming out, and what we're sitting in is confidence. A lot of people don't want to take responsibility for this shutdown. I think that people are going to be ordered back to work. There's real heartbreak here. People are going to be ordered back to work. And I'm telling you, this Epstein thing is going to get released. And you know why? Because that high priestess unveils that which is hidden, and the hermit card is coming out. And the hermit card is a scholarly card, and often when a person is digging. So I really think that Epstein file is coming out, and I don't think they can keep it from happening. And I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to just block out names? How long can they could release it and block out names and block out sections with Donald Trump's name in it. It could continue to be a problem, and they could drag it out, hoping to push the goalpost so that people become increasingly numb about Trump's relationship with Epstein. That's the only thing they can hope for at this time. It's interesting that Trump released George Santos. You know, he was commuted. I think it was yesterday. Is that correct? All right. So, housing market. I'll do four cards on the housing market. Couple people wanted to know if the housing market was going to go down or if we were going to see changes in the housing market. We have strong housing market, hopefully coming sometime around April, I would think. Give it a couple of months. But I think people will be going back. It's the problem is that people lost their homes. They bought more house than they could afford, and they didn't expect the downturn. And this is the problem. You buy more house. We can kind of squeeze it if and then somebody loses their job. And then all of a sudden, the thing that they thought they could do, that house, no longer becomes a possibility. I'm seeing increasing number of people having to lose their houses, having to let these things go, having to downsize. So we could continue to see in the coming months a drop in the real estate market, which could be a good opportunity for people to buy property if you're waiting for prices to go down. Um, but over the next couple months, with an Eight of Cups moving in, Two of Wands is entrepreneurship, but it's importing and exporting. It's stability and partnerships, but we have this Eight of Cups moving in, which is to walk away from everything. This could indicate that the market continues to drop. I'm going to look at the jobs market really quickly. Are we going to see the jobs, people back in the jobs? I know that if I'm not mistaken, they have stopped releasing the jobs market. Is that correct? Because they don't want people to know about it. That can't be a good sign, right? Let's take a look at the jobs market, my loves. Hopefully it'll be good news. What is going on with the U.S. jobs market? Artificial intelligence, when I go into the energy of artificial intelligence, it just looks to me like all of the accounting and all of that stuff that used to be done by hand is all being done by computers now. And that could be the future of the IRS. Less mistakes, though, which is good. The economy is healing. Jobs market slowly coming back. Looks like it's limping back. Boy, bad problems, though. Devil card could be, addiction, fear. The health industry continues to be good. Banking and accounting still there's possibly some work there, but a lot of jobs are gone. A lot of jobs are slowing down. I don't like that devil card as the outcome. Health industry and caring for those social work, those kinds of human jobs seem to still be around. And we have that nice Ten of Pentacles and Ace of Cups moving in the House of Opposition, which could be family dynamics, the economy, your inheritance, blessings over to your inheritance and your finances. But the business world, the devil, that could be greed. It could be people holding back. So I'm not seeing improvement necessarily in the jobs market for quite some time with these cards, unfortunately. I think I've always said the way to get through this economy, particularly if you're over the age of 40, is to think in terms of self-employment, because there's just so much ageism. There it is again. Yeah, and then Four of Pentacles, which would indicate a restriction of the economy, unfortunately. We could have a partial bounce back for the holidays, but it still looks like it could be a very frugal Christmas. All right. All right. I also wanted to mention that I had done some remote views about the Middle East, and I feel there are a couple of changes that are going to be happening. One of the things that I predict is that the government in Syria will change. The government in Syria will change. The man who is currently running Syria, who is associated with Al Qaeda, he will leave, and somebody will be placed in power in Syria who can run a stable government. And Al Qaeda can't do that. So that's what I predict. A stable government that wants to be part of the Abraham Accords. That's the future leadership of Syria. And then I predict we'll probably see the withdrawal of Putin's army from Ukraine because they can no longer financially continue the war. And so they're going to have to negotiate some kind of partial to complete withdrawal in the coming months, Putin. In terms of the Gaza rebuild, I am going to go ahead and predict that they're going to forcibly clear Hamas if Hamas refuses to leave Gaza or disarm. And that could require foreign troops. But once Hamas is gone, then we'll see peace and a rebuild and the birth of a new Gaza. But unfortunately, before that happens, we could be seeing more conflict in Gaza. All right. I want to thank you for watching this quick video. If you're trying to get in for a reading with me, you can find all the information below. Okay, that's all I have for you. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone. Thank you.